Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome back to the 1K World Cup 2025 tournament presented by Joke. We are back, going to be rounding out some of these final losers bracket matches of this Saturday, at least for the first match before we head into conditionals. And oh boy, this match I believe is probably going to be one of the closest ones we have seen in the losers bracket. It is going to be Mexico versus 66% Canadian. And I've been looking forward to this match ever since I saw it on the bracket. Two very competitive teams, two very close-seeded teams. Mexico originally the 10th seed before overtaking China's 3rd seed, 66% Canadian, going to be the 8th seed for this match. So very close between the seeds, and I feel like this is not going to be a complete one-sided match, as we have seen these two teams struggle a bit against some other teams in this tournament, hence why they're in the losers bracket, but they have also taken some points off of some very nasty teams. Of course, Mexico being the outstanding team here, taking a commanding 5-1 lead or 5-1 victory over China all the way back in the round of 20. But 66% Canadian has also taken out some of the likings of random states A with a clean sweep for them. Although they got swept by the gauntlet that was Sweden in the winners bracket round of 16. We're gonna see the core duo that we saw in last year's tournament of 1K World Cup return for 66% Canadian. Gonna be Dimples, Army, and Verdun. While for Mexico, we're going to see some new faces around. I believe Assail, this is their first time playing in a 1K World Cup tournament, if I'm correct. And Mari needs no introduction, has been around for quite a bit. The 33rd seed of Joke 3. And we're just going to get underway with this first pick. It's going to be the Canadians' pick, and they're going to go for Classic 1. Maybe going to try to go for one of the more simple Rice picks, or more simply Rice/Streamy based picks for this match. As always, I am Marisoni commentating this match. Commentating along with me is going to be Sparky. How's it going, Sparky?
Hey, it's going absolutely fantastic. Looks like I joined at the perfect time, starting off on what looks to be Classic 1, and I think you were doing a really good job of highlighting what exactly this map entails. A very cut and dry 1/4 stream-based map that I feel like everybody in this lobby should be pretty comfortable with for the most part. I say that as Dimples being the first one to pick up a drop through this introduction here.
Yeah, Dimples, not one of a more physical player in these more demanding Rice picks. I mean, we have bumped the pool up to quite a wide margin. We're slowly seeing some of the top players of this tournament get caught up on some of these charts, but Dimples not taking very kindly to this chart. Same with Verdun as well, as they pick up a break as well in unison. Mari and Assail have been absolutely crushing this chart, especially Assail right now. As per usual, Assail has been the anchor for the Mexican team, while Mari and I think Happer Gamer as well. I believe Zeno will be no-showing for this match, them trying to be a very solid backup for Assail. Dimple's going to find another break here on these elongated streams.
Yeah, it's been a really nice surprise seeing basically the rise of Assail. Does pick up a drop before too long, but Mari's there to basically hold on to the final remaining FC in this lobby. Still above that 99% mark as well, and just being this very nice compliment to their partner here as we make our way through this outro. The victory almost certainly, without question, going to be Mexico's for this first map, and picking up the first break point in this match as well to make it 1-0 here.
Yeah, Mexico answering pretty early with the first breakpoint. Double, actually no, not a double FC. I did not catch that break from Assail, but look at that ratio from Assail. The only player under 100 perfects, and the only player with a single-digit 200 count, and Mari with the FC, clean 99. Dimples managing to snag the S rank, just barely getting over that 95 margin. Very solid effort for them, and same with Verdun. I feel like this is a pretty rough start for the Canadians, as I feel like this is where the skill cap really starts to show. There has been some signs of where from the quarterfinals round against random states A for the Canadian side, and I feel like now that we are entering these semifinals, it's gonna start to really show more. Like I mentioned earlier, it's starting to catch up a lot of players now. So wouldn't be surprised. Mexico gonna actually go for Classic 6. So speak of the devil when it comes to skill cap, we're gonna see probably one of the hardest maps in this pool.
Yeah, hardest map in terms of raw speed requirement. This is very much can you read 250 BPM burst in near perpetuity? There's a lot of 3-note gallops littered throughout, some very elongated 1-4 streams as well, despite the fact that it feels much faster. I don't really think we get into like 1/8 or 1/6 bursts very much in this chart, so 250 is around the median speed, but as you were mentioning, I think we're starting to reach the ceiling for a lot of the players remaining in this tournament, so it'll be interesting to see how Canada fares against Mexico, because we know the likes of Assail should be able to act this. Mari as well, not a stranger to these physical speed picks, but it all really just boils down to which team can really put together the performance when it matters the most. The MP Star Command comes out. We're going to get into the second map of this best of 11. Mexico with the early breakpoint, looking to try and double up right out of the gate here.
Surprising we're not going to see Choco Mist or TGJ Choco Mist for 66% for this pick. We have seen Choco Mist in for some of the more harder speed physical picks for the Canadians. But we are going to see the core duo of Dimples and Verdun, and the same for Mexico here. Dimples going to pick up an early break, as I just saw there. But nothing too much as we just started, but here comes the real part of the map. Verdun going to trip up on that. Dimples and Mari finding a break as well.
Yeah, but in and amongst all the rubble, the destruction across 3 playfields stands Assail alone. Oh, as I say that, the slider break gonna make me eat my words there, starting to fall back to reality along with everybody else in the lobby. Unfortunate there, but doing very well to keep themselves above that 98% mark. Like I said, these runs, if you trip up on any portion of it, you can just kiss that entire stream goodbye, and the recovery thereafter, you're going to want to overstream, and that just leads to more mistakes. As we can see throughout the lobby, nobody above that 98% mark now, but Mexico riding strong to the tune of about 105,000 points here.
Yeah, and Verdun and Dimples not over the S rank mark, while Mexico, both players almost about to hit that 97 mark, as Mari is inching closer and closer to that 97 range. Verdun pretty close to that 95 caliber. Dimples struggling a bit, but we do have this little bit of a break section with these Ellens, but Dimples finds a rush on these Ellens, and same as Verdun. And there's a whole, pretty much everyone breaking on this section, but not really going to matter, as Mexico having a very strong 160,000 point lead that just grows larger with those breaks, but not completely out of it yet, as there is still another very tricky stream section, but it's going to take a ton for the Canadians to catch up here.
Yeah, these transitional moments have been really interesting to look at as we continue on here. These triplet gallops just taking everybody for a bit of a ride here. Only person with any semblance of combo to work with right now is Assail, and as these bursts start to get more LN-centric, the ability to rebuild some combo makes an appearance, and that's more than enough for Mexico here to secure that second point to make it 2-0 to start this match off.
Yeah, I think what Mexico is going to try to look for here now is just trying to really see how much the skill cap is starting to hit the Canadians, as the Verdun and Dimples failing to cross that 93 mark, showing that maybe this is not, maybe just a bit too fast for them. So maybe Mexico is wanting to start to strategize and look for what's the more higher BPM to go for here. I wouldn't be surprised if once it's Mexico's turn to pick, they would probably want to pick that fan 2. But for the Canadians, they're probably going to want to do the complete opposite here and go for something that's at least probably the least physical and can maybe be a bit of a challenge for the accuracy side of things. And just waiting for what they're going to want to pick here, as we're seeing already doubt in the chat from the Canadians.
I mean, if we're looking for the least physically demanding maps, I turn to stuff like Astronaut or Hestia potentially being options available for the Canadians here to try and get away from these higher BPM just gauntlets of like 1-4 streams. Yeah, they do have their own little moments of like 1-6, 1-8 bursts, but at least you're not having to keep that up for seconds at a time, like 8 to 9 note streams. Classic Free is also a pretty good consideration as well. So honestly, anything other than Coco Water Slide would have been a good option in the classic pool. I think Coco Water Slide is a good Mexico pick as well.
And courtesy of RNG's, oh boy, are they rolling for their picks?
If they're rolling for it, we didn't get to see it, so...
We didn't see the roll command. Maybe they have a wheel. maybe they spun a wheel of names, so they just didn't make it obvious to...
It wasn't the first time.
Yeah.
Didn't you guys have a wheel for y'all a couple of years ago?
I think we did for last year, actually. I can't recall which round it was, but I think we had a wheel for picks.
That's funny, but regardless, like I said, it's not the worst map they could go into. There's definitely worse options on the board for them to really start to settle in. But with the way Classic 1 went, hopefully this goes a little bit more their way. There aren't any LN shenanigans that happen here. I know they've been plagued by these slider breaks that have basically torpedoed really good runs from their side, so just gonna have to wait and see as we get a substitution here, getting some lobby logistics taken care of, and Happer Gamer gonna check in for the Mexicans for this map.
You're gonna see Happer Gamer join in. I mean, last week it was a bit shaky for Happer Gamer against, I believe it was the United Kingdom last week in the quarterfinals. I believe some hardware issues got the best of Happer Gamer, but it has been a week since that match has occurred, so maybe they got that situation all figured out. But also just want to talk about how this isn't the first time that the Canadians have been in this, basically been in this situation before. They have been in the losers semifinals before. Ironically enough, it was against your team in 1K World Cup 2024.
Yeah, USB. With a early disconnect here, so maybe not dealing with those hardware issues like we thought as we get underway here. It's a very technically demanding map. Verdun and Dimple starting to struggle a little bit to join the misses from Happer as we continue on, but honestly that opening gauntlet really taking this Mexican score for a bit of a ride. Happer's down into that mid B rank range as we continue on, and with Azael dropping as well. Sure, they have the highest accuracy in this lobby, but you need that supporting score to really mount a bit of a challenge here. Verdun picking up some odd misses on the doublets, and Canada's nursing a 20,000 point lead, but it's starting to shrink here as we continue on into the halfway point. 5,000 points now.
Oh my goodness, and now the lead is going over to the Mexicans as Happer Gamer starting to build some combo here. And same with Azael. We did see some breaks from Azael, but it's mainly just them manning the floor with the accuracy component with the 98. And now Happer Gamer, I think with just that sheer... Oh, but there's a full reset on the side of Mexico, and now that lead is swinging over less than 6,000 points. With this break session, I feel like as just the more the map goes, that lead shrinks, and it's going to side to the Canadians as Happer Gamer finds a break, but Verdun trades it back, arguably a worser break, and now Mexico having a pretty much almost nursing a 13,000 point lead as Dimples, Azael, and Verdun all missing pretty much everybody breaking here, but Verdun finds one, Happer finds one. but I think Verdun found a couple extra more, and now it is Mexico taking almost a 15,000 point lead, and now nursing the 20,000 point lead.
Oh, full combo reset on the side of Mexico though. As we make our way into this outro, there's still an 8th map left to go. Things are much calmer, and cooler heads can absolutely prevail at the 11th hour. 13, 12, 11. There's a miss after. It's a massive drop on the burst, and it gives the lead back on over. Oh, but there's a full combo reset on the side.
But it's not gonna be enough.
There's only a couple.
It's not enough
left.
Oh. No, okay. Wait.
No, it's just a single note. Oh my goodness.
But still, that drew 2,000 points worth to Mexico. And Canada going to get on the board in the most interesting way possible. I don't think I've seen a roller coaster of emotions that much in my lifetime. Canada having a 20,000 point lead gives it to Mexico, and then at the dying seconds, just barely flips back into their favor.
Oh, don't leave the door open with the birds. Oh my god, they were being attacked by the bird. The bird is Canadian. The bird is Canadian.
It's the Canadian goose.
Oh my god.
It's the Canadian goose flying to Mexico to sabotage Happer Gamer in a wild turn of events.
Hey,
what a sabotage!
I feel like that's an all-timer now.
I really want to see, I really hope Happer got that on footage. I want to see a clip of this, honestly. Just, I personally can't say I've been attacked by birds, but hey, I mean, it's
better
always
than
a first for everybody. Oh yeah, definitely better than bees. But we're gonna see Classic 5. I mean, you were alluding to this pick earlier of the Canadians not wanting to maybe go for this pick. I mean, yeah, Dimples puts it best. It's pretty much speed 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, this is 195 BPM streams, and there's some interesting mapping decisions. There's a funny doublet section in the build-up into the first drop, and Sonny, what do you think the over-under is going to be on people missing in that doublet section?
I feel like we're probably going to see 2 or 3 full combo resets from everybody. And honestly, I feel like that is going to be... I feel like that's going to be the deciding factor of this entire map, because there's not really much outside of that big doublet session. And I feel like it's just going to be whether if Assail and Mari find the more breaks, or Dimples and Verdun find the more breaks in that section, and also who can recover better after that doublet section. I think it just all boils down to, if you have this map nailed to a T and you're expecting those doublets, you will definitely have a better success rate of hitting them. But I mean, it's still not the easiest walk in the park for players, even if they have practiced for the 10,000 first time. It's never gonna be perfect, but hey, I could be eating my words right here, but we're gonna have to see. Classic 5.
Yeah, first major stream section coming through here. Everybody making it through unscathed. A couple of accuracy drops. I think Dimples lagging behind towards the end of it, trying to hang on as best as they could, and only sacrificing about 2% of their accuracy in the name of that FC, and it's going to help keep this lead in check on Mexico's side. 12,000 points as things stand as we begin the build-up into that doublet section. Here we go.
Oh, Verdun!
Everybody else, Dimples misses on the transition into it, but keeps it relatively clean. But now the major section starts to rain down, and a full combo reset on the side of the Canadians. Mari trading one of those back, but now 72,000 points for Mexico. The advantage is as we continue on into the back half of the map, and as everybody's starting to pick up a couple of drops here, Assail once again just the epitome of consistency on these rice picks. The LN's not really perturbing them too much. 99.86% accuracy on their end as we continue on to this ending portion.
Yeah, it's been Assail all the way, and I pretty much ate my words there, as I'm pretty ssure Assail is still on a V1SS run. They have
That's
been
insane.
pretty much, they have been in the driver's seat this entire pick, 99.87. Mari also making a very steady recovery from that doublet section. I believe they picked up a couple of breaks, and there's a full reset on the Canadian side, as well, Dimples and Verdon have also made stellar recoveries from that section, they're bleeding almost 200,000 points in the favor of the Mexicans here. I don't think, even if there was a couple more minutes of map left to go, there would need to be an absolute miracle to happen, as Mexico just going to get that lead increased even more as more breaks fall down. I think maybe that stamina component's really starting to get the best of the Canadians there, but the map is over. Mexico going to go up now 3-1, and oh my goodness, Assail 992 with with 200 and 100. Okay.
That's a nutty run right there. On the surface, it's not like the hardest map to get a consistent run on, but there's just so many little pitfalls here and there. Not the doublet section being the worst one of them all. If you can make it through that unscathed, everything else is pretty much a walk in the park. Just got to be able to read through some of those even note streams that you're having to end on the offhand. But still, a 992k on that is ridiculous in the grand scheme of things. And now with Canada up to pick once again, they're going to go for the old pick here.
I feel like this might be... I say this a lot, and I feel like this is going to be a shot in the foot for the Canadians. I don't know how to feel about a map like this. Maybe they're just going to try to see if they can take out them, or see how Mexico feels about the more technical side of things on top of OD10.
I think the saving grace is the fact that it's not just 200 BPM streams.
Yeah,
I feel like that just plays into
192
Mexico's hands too much.
And Mari leaves the lobby. We're probably going to see Gamer jump in for this pick here. Hoping
Hopefully
this time
bird free.
Hopefully the Canadian geese are gone from have fled Mexico ahead and have migrated back to Canada, as it is that time of year where the birds come back from the south after a harsh winter. They return to Canada. Right? They go south for the winter because it's hotter?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Because they go towards the equator and then they come back up after things warm up. I haven't been in school for well over a decade now. I don't have to remember this shit.
I haven't heard... Oh my goodness. Mari's gonna get me for that joke 3 comment. Hey, I mean, is there anything else I really need to say? I was just bringing up your vast record. I could also say, actually, I don't know. I wasn't really around for 1K World Cup 2024 commentary.
Weren't you?
I think, but I was, but I don't know if I.
How many?
Did any?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I think it was just the lack of commentating and more locked in on playing for the Canadians, and we're gonna see some early breaks. Dimples and Assail are gonna find the first breaks of this chart, but I mean, Assail treating it a lot better than Dimples. Oh, but Gamer now finds a break. And that's going to shrink the lead just by a tiny bit, although Dimples is still lacking in the accuracy department, so it's not going to be as much. But Gamer finds another one! Is that going to be enough? Oh, no, Dimples trades it! It's still less than 10,000 points.
This is actually getting scary close how these maps begin to develop here. 15, 16, close to 20,000 points. Now trade once again on the transition out of that first stream, out of that section as well. Lead grows for Mexico. Assail able to hold off Verdon for now, even though Verdon, I think, is the only person holding on to an FC at this moment. Assail picking up a drop earlier on. As I say that, Verdon falls as well, and that might be the opportunity Mexico needs to kind of build this lead and stretch it to run away with this one now. Third of the map left to go. More trades back and forth across the lobby, more combo resets as we begin to settle into this guitar solo section here.
Yeah, and the guitars are always chaos when it comes to one key charting, and I think it's just boiling down. I mean, Haber Gamer is in relatively the same range as the Canadian right now, Verdun, at roughly the same accuracy marker as Haber Gamer. Dimples not too far behind, just around a couple percentages. It's just mainly been the highlight of Assail just absolutely just holding the ground for Mexico as Haber can take a few misses here and there, and Mexico will still be okay because of just Assail absolutely having this map down to a T. And no one being able to keep them in check. But Assail does fall, but I think this map, we're way too late into this map, as even if they find more, that's not going to matter, as Mexico going to take a commanding 4th point and a break point as well. That's their, I believe, their 2nd break point of this match. The only S rank. Wow.
It's a pretty hard chart. It does get a little nutty there at the end. Those doublets really begin to cause a bit of concern, transitioning back into the 1/4 LNs. But like you said, the only S rank in this lobby, only 900k score as well, more than enough. As we continue on here, Mexico now up to pick once again, and I mean they have a couple of options here as to where they would want to go. I imagine the path of least resistance is probably in those new picks, but honestly, anything's good for them.
Yeah, oh, Verdun. Oh! I mean, why am I reacting? I kind of knew this beforehand.
You can't mind block things you don't know.
Yeah, that is true, and I'm gonna say I did not know that Choco was not gonna be here. They were online, however. Might have to drop a little exposal here. Choco's playing Osu right now, right? They are currently playing Holland Song About Love, W.8 speed, 179 BPM, OD8. So they are on Osu, they just don't want to play.
I mean, to be fair, they've already played the speed maps, and I feel like that's really the only thing that Choco has played this tournament.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into Snap side here, and this should be a pretty interesting pick. It's not the hardest tech pick I feel we could have had, given the nature of how tech picks usually go in this tournament. It's very telegraphed in what it wants you to do, but the way that these snaps change in the middle of streams can really catch you off guard if you're not too careful. So just gonna have to wait and see how Dimples and Verdun hold up here. Mari checking back in for this one.
Yeah, like you mentioned about those snappings, I feel like that's what it's going to boil down to, are those kind of those awkward snap changes between bursts. As I mean, the snap does kind of have that swingy, like, jazz feel to it, and especially with a piano mixed in between. It's kind of like it's nearing that guitar of the map, and we're going to see everybody breaking on this section, but the Mexicans actually finding a bit more of the bigger of the hit, as Mari actually struggling a bit on these timings here, but Dimples does try to break back. It was just that Mari found a pretty rough start, but is starting now to pick up their accuracy here, while Dimples falling behind by quite a bit. But Mari finds another break. Will that be enough though? As they manage to keep that accuracy in check, it's slowly leaning over to Canada. It's been pretty much the same story over with Assail pretty much being the saving grace for Mexico here, but Verdun. Oh, but there's a break from Assail. Everyone missing. It's only Verdun holding combo right now.
Oh, but Dimples finds a pretty massive drop in the transition back into the streams, and they start to rain down in more perpetuity, and it's going to bring the lead back on over to the side of Mexico, but only about 1,000 points. The accuracy drop starting to make a difference. Verdun falls, Dimples falls as well. A full combo reset on the side of Canada. Assail trades one of them back, but now Mari picking up the pieces here for the Mexicans as they begin to increase the lead. 40,000 points with half the map solo to go. I don't think this is a safe lead by any stretch of the imagination here.
But I mean, Dimples is really starting to drop that accuracy. We're going to have to see more come out of Assail and Mari. But there's one, but Verdun trades it pretty much equally. Dimples is trying their hardest to hold on, and I mean, they are doing it but it's just that speed up at the end of those streams that are really getting them. And it's been Mari, that fast baseline, pretty much. I'm pretty sure that's just a break though. But Mari basically reaching that combo cap now, 82,000 points and climbing as Mari is starting to call out that accuracy. Vernon semi keeping a sail in check, that everyone hitting that slowdown. It's just that Dimples needs to catch up to Mari, but there's not enough time unless Mari finds a detrimental accuracy drop. Dimples finds a break, Mari not willing to trade it back at all, and there's 2 unanswered from Dimples. But as the map comes to a conclusion, I think even if Mari were to take their hands off the keyboard right now, that lead will still be in favor of Mexico, as they are absolutely tearing this map apart, almost 150,000 points in their favor, and Mexico's going to make things a match point situation here.
Yeah, shaky start there at the beginning for Mari, but doing more than enough to basically see them over the line, as Verdun and Aseo were having a battle for the ages across from each other for most of that map. And Mexico now, as you mentioned, on match point with Canada up to pick here. And not gonna lie, slim pickings for comfortable type of map. Maybe classic 2 or 4, but outside of that, I don't really like. Snapside was an outside consideration, and they really showed out for it for the most part. So I'm not sure what the pick could be here for Canada.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like they're gonna have to call up Choco and tell him to get in here, as I don't know what they could go for here.
Like I said, I feel like a Tessier Astronaut here for Canada potentially. Maybe Fan 2, but there it is, Fan 2. It's got its moments of streaminess, but it's still pretty comfortable to read overall. So
I feel like this is the perfect call for Choco.
Maybe, but
I feel like maybe the distant cry for help for the Canadians. I feel like they're gonna have to really make sure, maybe they could call a timeout and get Choco to hop on.
No, I feel like this is the ride or die for Canada. Dimples and Verdun have been the dynamic duo for this roster for the most part. And the only downside to this map is that, yes, they might be able to perform on it, but this is also a pick that is very much up the wheelhouse of Mary and Aseo here.
But hey, this map is pretty lengthy. Also, could potentially trip up when it comes to the switch between instrumentals and vocals. So maybe it could potentially be a bit of a deal breaker, but who knows? We have seen plenty of things happen. I don't know how to feel when not having Choco on the roster for this pick. I did see a comment from Aseo. Will Mexico own the night after this pick?
Now let's wait and see. I feel like they have a match to play after this. This is a loser's bracket match. I don't think we mentioned that. So there are consequences. This is Canada playing for their tournament lives. Mexico looking to try and continue on to the second half of semifinals weekend. And
what better opponent waiting for if Mexico does take this pick than their round of 20 opponent, China?
Oh, a rematch. Perfect.
And we're already heading into the opening here. Mari does find a break, but so does the Canadian duo, and arguably worse as well, as Mari does drop below what Verdun did have, but doesn't take long for Verdun to also drop below as well. And it's pretty much history repeating itself here and here again. A Sale being ahead of the game being pretty much ahead of the game from everyone else by 10 times.
Yeah, 3% ahead. As things stand, making up a majority of the 60,000 point lead as we transition into the second quarter of this map. Like I mentioned, one of the longer ones in this pool, so plenty of time for recovery, but can't really get away with too many misses before too long because you might inadvertently give your opponent an insurmountable lead and really need to depend on them to start finding misses towards the end. But with the way Mexico has been playing, yes, not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but doing more than enough to see themselves over the line as we take stock of the scores. Everybody getting the memo as to what they need to do. Dimple starting this section off with the first break as everybody else begins their climb. Both Mari and Aseo back up with that 400 combo cap, gonna start getting full credit for their scores, and now the misses are gonna start doing some pretty significant damage as they continue to rain down from the Canadians here. Another full combo reset on their side, gonna increase this lead to 130,000 points with a third of the map left to go here.
Yeah, and I think Canada saw during that break section when the scores were shown of their opponent, they kind of noticed the beginning of the end here, but hey, there is still a third of the map left to go. And I mean, what the Dallas Stars have taught me, that no matter how much time there is left, all you need is one period left and you can get 5 unanswered goals, and that's exactly what Canada needs.
No. I mean, to be fair, I don't think Mexico's really in the mood to start cross-checking and high-sticking everybody in the lobby, but hey, stranger things have happened. Quarter of the map still left to go here. It's 160,000 points. Everybody's kind of settled back in here. There aren't that many outrageous doublet burst sections during this segment, but that only plays into Mexico's hands here. They can kind of get back into the groove. Both of them going to crest over that 1,000 combo mark and kind of hold things steady towards this ending.
I mean, maybe gonna counterpoint you on your cross-checking. I think maybe the Bird might be getting a 5-minute major for cross-checking Happer.
No, that thing got ejected.
Yeah, I got a game misconduct. But as the map concludes, unfortunately, in history repeating itself again from last year's 1K World Cup, unfortunately, Canada is going to be eliminated from this tournament in the loser semifinals. But for Mexico, on the other hand, we're going to go back in time to the round of 20 and see a rematch of an old friend happening at 3 UTC.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of matches at 3 UTC. It's going to be insane. Everything's gonna basically collide. Mexico gonna try and punch their ticket into finals. China looking to try and stop them. And the first match for Peru and for United States gonna be taking place at that hour as well. So gonna have a nice little marquee matchup, a nice doubleheader for y'all to start Sunday off right. But
yeah, oh my goodness, the winner of that match will verse the scary United States, which if you did not catch that match, oh boy, they took a point off Japan. I think that itself should be a technical, like, you automatically win. But anywho, that match happened 15 hours ago. We will be taking a little bit of a break here for about 20 minutes or so, and then we'll be back with kind of rounding out.
That
I think that might have been rescheduled.
Yeah, so 3 UTC is when we'll be back.
So we will be taking a hefty break at about 4 hours from now. Don't let that first time deceive you there. We're gonna see the United States versus Peru, and like you mentioned, it will be a doubleheader. We will be seeing Mexico and China by then. But for now, Sparky, do you have anything to close off this stream with?
No, I think you put a nice little bow on proceedings here. So go ahead and take y'all's break. We'll catch you guys at 3 UTC for that doubleheader. And until then, we'll catch you guys later.
Take care, everyone.